And three, two, one. Hey everyone, it's John, your Indian Cinemaniac, back with another 10-ish minute review. Today is the alternates to the viewer reel, which is on the big show. Doesn't make these movies any less impressive, just so you know. So I've already done one, and then I did that terrible movie, Kufaya, which most of you agree with me, and based on the views, most of you have not seen. But we're back with a viewer choice. So please, as always, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, smash that like button, and as always, please share. Today's film was recommended by AFCAS4965, and the film is the 2016, based on a true story, Nirja. And I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I am, because it's a real person. But I want to read you the little blurb that AFCAS gave us to watch this film. So here you go. It's based on a real life event of a 21-year-old girl who stopped a plane hijacking and saved over 300 lives. That year, America, India, and Pakistan gave their bravery award to the same one person, Nirja. I know my description might be underwhelming, but trust me, it's one of those movies that everybody has watched. I was actually shocked that you haven't reacted to it yet, even after it being one of the most popular movies. Well, AFCAS, I'm sorry about that, but now I am getting to it. So let me start off by saying that I knew nothing about this actual event, which was Pan Am Flight 73, which was hijacked on September 5th, 1986. And Nirja Banat, I think that's how you pronounce it, was actually 22 years old. She was 1 month short of her 23rd birthday when this event happened. It was directed by Ram Madhavani, who directed one of my favorite, not only Amir Khan films, but one of my favorite Indian films that we've watched so far, Like Stars on Earth. So big fan of this director based on that. This was a really interesting and very tense film. And, it's based on a true story. I've done some research on this since I watched it. And I don't know how much of it is 100% accurate, because some of the other flight attendants, this movie makes her out to be the big hero of the piece, which no doubt she was, based on eyewitnesses and based on the award she won. But some of the other flight attendants came out and said that she wasn't the only one, which may be true. But to me, it doesn't diminish it. This was an amazing story. It was very tense. It was not a long film. I think it was a little over 2 hours, but it really starts off interesting. They show her at home. So I like the fact that they give you a little background on who she is. And through the course of the movie, you find out that she left an abusive husband. And in that culture, that's not the easiest thing in the world to do. But the contrast, so that they're showing a family party that she is attending, and then they're cutting back and forth to the terrorists planning this hijacking. So it's a really interesting scene, the way they cut that. A few other things. This was a very short shoot. It was like 14 to 20 days, I think it was. Low budget, and they used no artificial light. It was all existing lighting, ambient lighting, and you could see it. It had a very documentary feel to it, which I also found interesting. It's the movie starts off. It's dedicated to Nirja's mother, who the actress. By the way, this movie stars Sonam Kapoor, Shabana Azmi, who played the mother, who was excellent. Jim Sarbach, Jim Sarba, who was in Padmavat, and Yogendra Tikku, who was in Queen, two movies that I've seen. Obviously, for me, the two strongest performances were the Sonam Kapoor and Shabana Azmi, who played the mother. They were wonderful in it, and the mother, especially once the event happens, is just wonderful in this. So it takes place in 1986. Now, there is an opening dance number, which I was like, okay, I know this is a film about a hijacking. So how are they going to work a musical number into this? Well, they did at the beginning at the party, and they I laughed because they did the robot. And that's something I have not seen in an Indian film in all the musical numbers. Now, there was another musical number in it. It was mostly flashbacks with a song, which was okay. It annoyed me a little bit because there was so much tension going on in the plane at that time that I didn't want to break away for a musical number, but it happened, so it's no big deal. It wasn't that long, so it didn't bother me that much. Um, the father speaks to Nirja, and a couple things come out that he says to her, and one of them is his philosophy is never lose hope and fight for injustice. And he kept saying, "My brave little girl," and obviously that all comes into play when the hijacking occurs. She's the head purser of this flight, and the hijackers, while it's grounded in it was Kachari. Yeah, it's a Mumbai to New York flight, but they have to go to Karachi and Frankfurt first. And Karachi is where the terrorists boarded the plane. The pilots, based on protocol, actually leave the cockpit, so there are no pilots, and that's how they're stuck on the runway or at the tarmac. And now I thought all the performances were good because the tension and the fear that they're all facing was good. The only the one complaint I have, and I'm only saying this because I don't know, but the terrorists, terrorists are bad, they're evil, and they should be condemned. But they were a little too one dimensional, just bad guys. One exception, one guy didn't want to beat up a little kid, or didn't want to scare a little kid because he's just a little kid, and the second in command was beating him up over it. But other than that, it was pretty one dimensional, which I guess for this film, I guess they just wanted to have a stark line between good and evil, which is fine. Again, it was fine. They did their part. There was the one thing I really liked about this, there was not a lot of background. Well, there was background music, but it was different. It was I can't describe it to you. It wasn't really music. It was like a low hum almost while the hijacking was happening, while they were running around with their guns, but it was really effective. The only real music showed up once she died, and they brought the casket back to the mother and father. A year later, they did a celebration of her life. That's when they had real music. But during the hijacking, it was a low thrum almost, but it was really effective. It really added to the tenseness of the scene. So I like that. She now so in essence, she does some things. Like the first thing the terrorists wanted were American passports. So they wanted to collect all the passports, and they were going to separate the American passports first. Well, her and the other flight attendants managed to hide all the American passports. But as a result of that, they ended up calling out a British citizen, and he ended up actually getting killed. So, and she did some other things to calm things down, get them water, feed them. I'm doing my job, you're doing your job. So she was very brave. Now, at one point, she broke down because someone got shot right next to her, and she's next. So she broke down, but then she, was thinking about the father, be brave, and she was. And the final scene in the hijackers, where the police or the airport security, or I don't know who they are, they decide they're going to attack the plane. Well, all the power goes out, and now which I guess really happened, the terrorists just start firing away and throwing grenades in the airplane, and 20 people died, and they ended up getting caught. But her death, which, as I did a little research, was different than the way it was portrayed in the film. And again, that doesn't make it bad. I actually thought the ending was really powerful because she is herding out 3 children down the slide. And as she's doing that, she's getting shot in the back by the terrorists, but she's still managing to get them down the slide. And she actually goes down the slide too, all bloodied up. But in actuality, she was shot, and 2 of the other flight attendants got her down the slide. So she was not actually the last one out of the plane. So that was a little creative license, but it was very powerful. And the scenes once the hijacking was over, and the scene goes to they bring the casket back, and then the anniversary of her death, very powerful. And I think at one point they showed footage which I think was actual footage. I'm not sure about that. And I don't know if they superimposed the actress into the scene, but it looked like the actual scene where the mother got the award. And I want to make sure I get this right. So Nirja Banat received the Ashoka Chakra Award, the first female to receive that, by the way, which is the highest award you can get in peacetime. She also received the Tamjai Pakistan, which is the highest civilian award that they give. So, so it was. I loved this movie. It was tense. It was very, and I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know she gets killed. So when that happened, I was. So she got it obviously after her death, the awards. But it was great. And if you haven't seen it, I know I've spoiled the crap out of it. But if you're in India, you probably know the story. But really, really well done. The director, very, like I said, documentary style. So I have to say, I really enjoyed this. So thank you, AFCast 4965, for that one. I'm going to give that one 4 Ladoos. 4 Ladoos, okay? Maybe it would have been a 5 if Amir Khan was it, or Shah Rukh Khan. I don't know. But and the actress, by the way, Sonam Kapoor, I've never seen her in anything. She was excellent. Beautiful too, but she was really good. This the ups and downs that she went through in this film, she was solid. So thank you for that, AFCast. Now, before I get to another alternate wheel pick, a viewer pick, I've decided. A lot of you have in the comment section told me you wanted me to watch OMG 2 after I watched OMG. Well, at the time, OMG 2 was not available for me to watch. Well, yesterday it showed up on my queue. OMG 2, 2023, starring Akshay Kumar, who I've become a big fan of. So that's the one I'm going to watch next. Okay. And then I'll go back to a viewer choice. And I've gotten I did some whining this time. I whined about no Amir Khan films. So a couple of you have given me some suggestions on Amir Khan films that I'm going to weave into the viewer choices. Okay. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this. Hit the subscribe button, notification button, hit the like button, and share if you will. Now on the big show, we are adding a new segment, depending on how many we get. But we got a lot of good responses to the viewer questions, so we're asking for those again, and we're going to answer 1 or 2 every episode of the big show. And if you have a question you want to ask me that I can answer on the 10ish minute show, I'll be happy to do that too. But it's really for the big show. We just want to add one more segment to it to get more input from you guys, because you guys are so great at that. So that's it. That's my 10ish minute review. I think it was pretty close to 10ish minutes. Hope you enjoyed it, and looking forward to the next one. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.